Hello, today I will be teaching the section Mastering Creator Language, pages 54 to 60 in Chapter 2, Accepting Personal Responsibility of the Textbook on Course. To begin, the two main keys of Creator Language is having positive actions and taking ownership of your problems. While victim mindsets as a whole is a very negative and unproductive way to live, creator mindsets are quite the opposite. Having a more responsible attitude and being more so able to work through problems at an efficient rate and manner. Self-talk is the way you talk to yourself, or in other words, your inner voice. Those who only listen to their inner critic and inner defender have a victim mindset, while those who listen to their inner guide have a creator mindset. The inner critic is that internal voice you have that judges and brings you down. This voice only insults and judges oneself. For example, I am bad at this. I look bad. My hair is ugly. I suck at cleaning, etc. This inner dialogue is depressing and more often than not brings many into a depressive state. It accepts everything and negative about yourself and makes it seem like the truth and the only true thing about you. When listening to your inner critic, then everything is your own fault when it isn't. Our appearance, performance, personality, likes and dislikes, intelligence, and how others see us, and our abilities to do stuff is never good enough for our inner critics, and it will always find something to judge about us. Despite how negative the inner critic seems, it is actually all out of good intentions. It basically does not want you to embarrass yourself, but it always seems a bit harsher than it should be. So you could be wondering what's positive about these obviously negative thoughts. It's a way to save us from embarrassing ourselves and getting rid of flaws. In a way, it's like a decent older sibling. Someone who constantly judges and brings you down, but most of the time there are good intentions behind those words. Your inner critic forms at a young age. How much you listen to your inner critic mostly stems from the adults that were in your life since an early age. To make it simple, the more judgmental the adults were, the more you'll listen to your inner critic. The less judgmental, the less you'll listen to your inner critic. While the intentions of judgmental parents may have been in a good place and non-judgmental adults' intentions may have been bad, they always play a role in a child's inner critic. Whatever the intentions may be, they will always have power in the child's inner critics and just their development and their childhood. The inner defender is the opposite. It is that internal voice that defends you. While your inner critic judges you, your inner defender will judge others. For example, he's ugly, she's too loud, they messed up my pay, my boss is annoying, everyone is being stupid, etc. Similar to the inner critics, inner defenders do not take much responsibility, but they still complain and whine, in a way. Just like the inner critics, it does have good intentions though. They also want to protect us from the discomfort and make us feel worthy compared to others. Tearing others down is how our inner defenders makes us feel better and more protected. Furthermore, our inner defenders try to help us by blaming our issues on uncontrollable forces. In other words, I failed my test because my professor didn't teach me. I didn't have time to study because my neighbors were being too loud, etc. You may have noticed that this sounds a lot like judgmental adults in your life, more specifically narcissistic adults. You may have experienced things like, it's not our faults that we forgot, you should have reminded us more. You are a hard kid to take care of, so God forbid we take a break. It's my room since I pay the bills, so I get to search your room and I could take your door away if I want to. These are just examples of a narcissistic adult or parent. Clearly, narcissists live basically off of their inner defender. Another way you may have experienced your inner defender is when you were a kid, possibly being scared by a much more powerful adult, trying to defend yourself from criticism, judgment, and punishment. If you may, please take a short time to notice how many similarities there actually are between your inner critic and inner defender. While being almost opposites, they exist for basically the same reason: to protect ourselves from judgment, embarrassment, anxiety, and mainly from other people. The last inner voice is your inner guide. Like its name, it guides you and is the best voice to listen to. This inner voice knows when judgment doesn't always improve every situation. This inner voice is also the most in tune with the world around us. But what about the times when my inner critic and my inner defender are right? You could be wondering. And yes, you could be really bad at what you're doing, or the other person could be so annoying. The difference though is that your inner guide does not waste all your energy thinking as negatively, and realize the positives too. Your inner critic and inner defender will just expend all your energy just by judging others and yourself. To begin in summing this video up, the victim mindset is when you only listen to your inner critic or your inner defender. On the other hand, a creator mindset is when you listen to your inner guide. While someone with a victim mindset will just complain or blame others or constantly just bring themselves down, someone with a creator mindset will be able to work through their problems and take ownership of what is their fault. That is the main two differences between a victim and creator mindset. Victims will self-sabotage and make judgments, while creators will take ownership and plan for better in their lives. Going back to a point I made earlier on, if you couldn't tell yet, adults do play a major role in your mentality as you grew up, and even as an adult today. Another thing to consider is that their parents were most likely the same and did the same things. This is a very common pattern that repeats between generations that many don't actually realize about. This pattern also will not stop until somebody does break it. The same can be said about a victim mindset. It will go on and on until you finally break it. Furthermore, the voice that we listen to will determine not just our mental state, but also our actions. In conclusion, having a victim mindset will not allow you to have much success within your life. It will just drag you down a dark rabbit hole of sadness. Having a creator mindset, on the other hand, will set you up for success in your life, as you will gain more control over your thoughts and actions. Overall, when you feel that you are in a victim mindset or are slipping into one, think to yourself, what could I do, say, or think that could help me in this situation and get me moving forward within my life? This will start the beginning of helping yourself into a creator mindset. But thoughts are not enough. Your actions must also follow your thought process. This is how you begin your steps into a creator mindset and hopefully into a much better life. In other words, this will help you master creator language. That is all. Thank you for listening and have a great day.